Section 2.4a is about dividing integers. The rules for dividing numbers are the same as multiplying. The quotient means division, so the quotient of two numbers that have the same sign is going to be positive, and the quotient of two numbers having different signs will be negative. Those are exactly the same rules as they were for multiplication, except now we're using division. Here's some examples. Negative 77 divided by 11, so we have to figure out how many times 11 goes into 77. And that goes in 7 times. Because one of them is negative, we're going to have a negative quotient. And now 3 goes into 51. 3 goes into 5 once. Subtract, you get a 2, bring down the 1. 3 goes into 21 7 times, so the answer is 17. 2 negatives means our solution here will be positive. Here are some examples of dividing. It says 96 divided by negative 6, so we're going to figure out how many times 6 goes into 96. We can use long division for that. 6 into 9 once. So subtract, bring down the 6. 6 goes into 36 6 times. So you end up with a 16. Now we got to figure out if it's positive or negative. Well, the signs are different when we divide, therefore it'll be a negative 16. Here 36 divided by 4. And we're going to figure out how many times 4 goes into 36. Well, 4 doesn't go into 3, so we're just going to have to either guess. Well, if you notice, 36 is close to 40, and 4 goes into 40 10 times. So since 36 is 4 less than that, it's going to go in there 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. 1 negative when you divide means your answer is going to be a negative 9. And the next one, how many times does 5 go into 64? Long division again. 5 into 6 is once. Subtract, bring down the 4. 5 goes into 14 twice. So that's going to give me a remainder of 4. So now I got to add a decimal and bring down a 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times with no remainder. So answer here is 12.8. Since there's one negative, the answer will be a negative 12.8. Here we have division with a long division bar, and this has to be dealt with in a special way. You can't divide the 3 into these numbers individually, but if you separate it into two separate fractions and make it 24 minus 6a over 3. Now the reason that's legal is because these 3's are common denominators, and if you put them back together, you'd end up with this large fraction. So it makes sense that you could just pull them apart. Now we're going to divide them individually. 24 divided by 3 is 8, positive, because there's no negatives there. Here 3 goes into 6a 2 times with an a, and because the negative there, it's going to be 8 minus 2a. Another example like that is here. I'm going to rewrite this into two fractions and then divide. 6b over 2 is a 3b. Because there's one negative, it'll be a negative 3b. And here plus 2 goes into 18 9 times, but it's a negative 9. You could write it that way, or you could rewrite this as minus a 9.